Welcome to my channel where I dive into some of the most interesting and thought-provoking stories from the online community. Today, we're going to explore what's got people asking themselves if they're being unreasonable in various situations. Am I the butthole for refusing to do the morally correct thing? Death brings out the absolute worst in people. My father passed away without a will. Bank assets had PO'd to me. Everything else goes through probate. I am an only child. My parents were married before I was born, separated when I was young, and divorced when I was in my 30s. After his death, two of his siblings and their family claimed I wasn't his biological child, and they were entitled to his estate. They asked me to do the morally correct thing and gift it to them. Probate was contested and ruled in my favor, but they are still upset, claiming they will file civil lawsuits until the truth is revealed. Am I the butthole for refusing to give them anything and not entertaining any conversations related to this? My father was involved in my life. There is no doubt in my mind that I am his child. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for eating AITA to-go croissant at the coffee shop? My wife and I were out running errands. We stopped to get a coffee and a snack. We both order a coffee from the barista who comes around to take coffee orders. I then get up to order a croissant from the bread counter. Upon ordering, I'm informed that there is a $2 surcharge for eating here. I decline this and say takeaway's fine. I return to the table. The coffee has arrived, and my wife has ordered some food as well. She ordered an egg salad sandwich. I tell her about the silly $2 surcharge on a $3 croissant. I put my croissant in my jacket pocket to eat later as we walk to the next shop. When her egg salad sandwich arrives, I can tell she doesn't want to eat alone, so I take out the croissant and eat with her. Then she goes quiet, doesn't say another word till we leave. Outside, she proceeds to tell me how upset she is by what I ordered and should have paid the extra. This is obviously a bit of a surprise to me. Instead of escalating things, we both decided it's best to go separate ways, and she decides to go home. Am I the butthole? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. The surcharge is there for a reason, even if an extra $2 is excessive to me. You assumed your wife didn't want to eat alone without asking her? You eat your croissant without talking to her first? Just fucking talk to each other. This is minuscule and petty even for Reddit. Okay, but you eat your croissant without talking to her first? Is the poster child for why this sub is useless. It's literally eating a croissant. Mayo, right? What the hell? Then in another thread, you don't have to ask permission to eat your croissant. People here are insane, have never had a friend in their life. People on this sub are such rule-following pearl clutchers, they seem to either all be children teens with no life experience, or bots that are being used to manipulate actual people into thinking that every damn rule or law must be followed to a T, lest all hell will break loose. It's so wild to me. Rule-following pearl clutchers is such a beautiful, cushion-embroiderable, double-hyphened, brand new sentence for me. Would it sound better for an industrial techno duo or for a goth rock band? It's the fact that he was blatantly violating the rules of the business they were in that made his wife uncomfortable. It would make me uncomfortable too. Was he violating the rules though? He thought he was, agreed, and so did she. But they were already getting table service for their coffee and his wife's sandwich. Perhaps I just find it mind-boggling that there would be a table surcharge per item, rather than them already paying for the table via the items ordered at the table. If it's a tax issue, then he's breaking the law and should have conformed. Seems high for tax though, as well as being high if it's per item. Yeah, I don't know if he was violating the rules. If they had ordered the stupid pastry and an egg sandwich at the same time, would it have been a $4 fee? Or is it a flat fee? I doubt it, but I don't know for sure. What are you, 5 years old? Do you think anyone working there actually gives a fuck? I can assure you, they do not. Ordering dine out to avoid the stupid service charge of dine is the most common thing in existence. I doubt anyone who works there cares about the rules, but they care about being forced to enforce the rules. For that reason, OP is an asshole here. Like some places have rules about outside food. Are you personally offending your server if you break that rule? No, but you're putting them into the shitty position of having to stop you. But they care about being forced to enforce the rules. They literally do not. I worked service for 2 years. They did not pay me enough to give a fuck. It's a manager problem, and even they could not give less of a fuck. Ordering to go and then sitting down to eat is literally the most common thing you will ever see in food service. So long as you're not doing it at close, no one cares. I've worked in service for over 10 years, and yes, breaking a rule and making it the problem of the people who have to enforce the rules is an asshole move. Ordering to go and then sitting down to eat is literally the most common thing you will ever see in food service. We're talking about a place where that is explicitly against the rules. It's an uncommon rule to have, and therefore a common thing to do. But still, that's the venue's rules. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for making my friend walk home after he insulted my cooking? I, 27 male, hosted a small dinner at my place for a few friends last weekend. I'm no professional chef, but I enjoy cooking, and I spent hours prepping a nice meal. Everyone seemed to like it, except for my friend Mark, 28 male. From the moment he sat down, Mark kept making little comments like, "Did you forget to season this?" Or "This is why I stick to takeout." At first, I laughed it off, but he wouldn't stop. Eventually, he said something like, "Man, even a frozen pizza would have been better than this." That was the last straw for me. I told him, "If you hate it so much, maybe you should just leave." He laughed, thinking I was joking, but I wasn't. I made it clear he wasn't welcome to stay if he was going to keep insulting me. He ended up leaving, but since he didn't drive, he had to walk home. About 20 minutes. Now, a few friends are saying I overreacted, and that kicking him out was too harsh, while others think he deserved it. Mark texted me later, calling me petty and saying I made him feel humiliated. Am I the butthole? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Welcome to Remethiashol. Please view our voting guide here at ttps www.reddit.co Remethiashol wiki fac wiki 29 with OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. The action is, that was the last straw for me. I told him, if you hate it so much, maybe you should just leave. The action might make me judge because I kicked him out and made him walk all the way to his place. Help keep the sub engaging. Don't downvote assholes. Do upvote interesting posts. Click here for our rules. TTPs www.com/remethiasholibatrules. And click here for our facatitis, www.rollwood.com/remethiasholiwikifa. Subreddit announcement. Follow the link above to learn more. Check out our holiday break announcement here. https www.reddit.com/remethias. All comments on hater won't you and Jaitamon. Now yeah, so how? I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. DTPs www.dbitchip.com message a compose to Remethia asshole if you have any questions or concerns. Contest mode is 1.5 hours long on this post. No, not the butthole. He was extremely rude. If his attempt was humor, he should have taken the hint that it wasn't funny the first couple of times. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for refusing to let my brother and Sil stay at my apartment with their dog? So, I, 25 female, live in a small, one-bedroom apartment in the Lower East Side, NYC. I love my space, it's cozy, and just big enough for me and my routine. I also have pretty severe allergies to dander, pollen, and dust, so I keep my home very clean and have to be careful about animals. A few weeks ago, my brother, 28 male, asked if he and my Sil could crash at my place for a weekend because they were visiting the city for an event. I agreed at first, but then he casually mentioned they'd be bringing their dog, a very energetic pug. I reminded him of my allergies and said, "Sorry, but the dog can't come into my apartment." I offered a few compromises like helping them find a pet-friendly Airbnb nearby, or suggesting they leave the dog with a friend or sitter for the weekend, but he shot all of those ideas down sight and cost. I totally understand that the dog is an extra expense, but you think they'd factor the dog into their decision-making more proactively. He got really annoyed and said I was being selfish because they'd already told a friend they wouldn't need them to dog sit, and it costs a lot to have them kept somewhere. I stood firm and said, "I can host you guys, but not the dog. It's not fair to me, my space, or my health." He got mad and said I was prioritizing my comfort over family and accused me of not liking their dog, which isn't true. He just literally can't breathe around it, and pug hair gets everywhere. I literally need a lint roller after. They ended up booking a hotel instead, but now my brother is barely speaking to me, and my parents think I should have just made it work for one weekend to keep the peace. I feel bad they had to spend more money, but it's not like I didn't warn them. Am I the butthole for refusing to let the dog stay in my apartment? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole. It's okay to be selfish about one's health. I think everything your brother said is true, just there's no inherent negative to it. You prefer to not be sneezing, teary-eyed rash, however your allergies manifest, and there is nothing about that. Here's the response from OP. Thank you, I have a hard time with asserting boundaries, but I've been trying to work on being kinder and fairer to myself without feeling shame about it. He accused you of putting your comfort over family? He's insisting on putting his dog over your health. You're offering them free lodging? And you're the selfish one? No shame for your boundaries, OP. No shame at all. And they are dog owners, so their clothes, suitcases, shoes, etc. probably have dog dander and hair on them, which they will be bringing into your home. It would be a major expense to clean up the dander and hair from their dog. Not to mention the agony of having an allergy. Not even his dog is putting his wallet over OP's health. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for insulting and verbally threatening my fiancé friend? I, 24 female, and my fiancé, 22 male, had a friend from his country over. We are Europeans, by the way. They were drinking alcohol while I was high from the Zaza. It's legal in my county, so don't come for me. The night started great, and my fiancé and his friend had a good time while I was enjoying my food. While both of them were drunk, the friend was more smashed than my fiancé. He got the idea to make my fiancé try something with some hard schnapps. I don't know exactly what they did, but let's try and describe it. The friend poured a shot of schnapps into a glass and put his hand over it. He also had a straw between his fingers, but the straw was not in the schnapps, but shortly above it. The friend told my fiancé to inhale the fumes, and then to not breathe out the fumes, but to down the shot immediately after. My fiancé did as his friend told, and he started to nearly instantly gag and throw up so violently that he snatched the prepared vomit bucket for our friend. The vomit also came out of his nose, and he started swaying from side to side so badly that he nearly fell. He held onto the couch while still violently vomiting. I comforted him immediately. I was horrified by what I saw, especially in my high state. I felt such a rage for the friend who seemed to be as mortified by what has happened as me. Little background info, I told them both multiple times to not do it BC. I had a bad feeling about it. In my anger, I turned to the friend. I just told him that my hand could connect to his face right now for what he just pulled. My fiancé immediately tried to defuse the situation by saying that he wanted it too. The Zaza isn't doing good to me, and I am taking this too seriously. I didn't say anything else to the friend who was a male. After my fiancé felt a bit better, I left the room still angry to calm myself in the bedroom, and my fiancé ran angry about my behavior towards his friend. He berated me so long and told me to apologize to his friend immediately. I didn't want it to cause more trouble, so I obliged and apologized. But when I was later alone in the bedroom, I started to doubt my own reasoning for being angry and getting mad because my fiancé got hurt. I stared to have a bad trip where I was shaking and crying on the bed, thinking I have overreacted and that I was overbearing. After some time, I finally fell asleep, and then my fiancé woke me up just to ask me if I'm not mad at the friend anymore, and to not take everything too seriously, and that my sentence to the friend was totally uncalled for, and that the Zaza was not doing me any good. Yeah. Am I the butthole for getting mad at the friend who made my fiancé participate in a drinking game, and which resulted in my fiancé throwing violently up? Like and subscribe for more awesome daily Reddit content. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos.